Well, good afternoon, folks. Grandpa Cavendish here. It's Sunday afternoon in New York, and I'm here for another episode of In the Kitchen with Grandpa. And this particular edition is one that's been inspired by two of my Pfeifenfreunde from Deutschland, Holger and Bernd. And why do I pick these two fellows? Well, Holger was very kind enough to send me a box of German cookies, Christmas cookies, and some treats. And in that box is one of the featured ingredients in today's recipe. So thank you, Holger, for all your kindness in sending me that box. And to Bernd for the inspiration of this particular recipe. He's the one who told me in the comment section of the video I made that in the Redmond household, they use the Aachener Krauterprinten, and I'm hoping that pronunciation is right, in their family recipe for Sauerbraten. So we're making Sauerbraten today, and this is going to be our featured ingredient. And this is a German spice cookie, almond spice cookie, and this is going to be integral into the making of the sauce that's going to go with that Sauerbraten. Now, another new feature in the In the Kitchen with Grandpa videos that I'm going to implement now is a featured tobacco that I've chosen to smoke during the preparation. And I've chosen here Robert McConnell's Red Virginia. And I'll read the description and you'll see why I've chosen it. It's a cut, ready rubbed Red Virginia cake with perique and a spicy top note. So this particular tobacco has a very spicy top note, which is perfect with this spicy meal that we're going to prepare. So that's our featured tobacco. So let's get to the preparation. So first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to my table. And how we doing there, cameraman? Okay, am I in focus? I've got a kind of a non-reactive stainless steel pot here. And what I want to do is add some ingredients to it. Now, for this particular recipe, and I should maybe just show you, this is our beef that's going to be marinated. This is a 4-pound piece of chuck, boneless chuck. And I'm going to marinate that for 4 days. And then we'll make the Sauerbraten and cook it at that time. But I have to make my marinade first. So what I use for this, and this is my own kind of recipe that I'm inventing as we go. Of course, I've taken some inspiration from a few cookbooks, but this is going to be a Grandpa Cavendish concoction. So first off, red wine vinegar. We're going to take 1 cup. 1 cup of red wine vinegar. Okay, that goes in the pot. And a red wine. If you have a German red wine, that would be wonderful. I don't have that, so I'm using this Chilean Cabernet. Okay, so 1 cup of red wine also into the pot. And now for our spices. Whoop, that goes on there. Alrighty. The traditional spices, of course, are going to be black peppercorns. So let's take a good, tablespoon or so of some black peppercorns. We'll put those in. Bay leaves. Going to put some bay leaves in. So we'll put a few bay leaves in. Whoops, dropped the top of that. We'll get that later. Juniper berries. Again, this is very traditional to have some juniper berries in there. So we're going to throw in some juniper berries. Again, this isn't that critical. Somewhere around a tablespoon of each so far. Whole cloves. Got some whole cloves. Now these can be a little strong. So maybe we don't need quite as many of those, but they have to be in there. So maybe about 12 of them, something like that. We'll throw those in. And now this is not traditional, but I'm going to put this in there. So this is the Grandpa Cavendish twist. Star anise. If you've not seen them before, they're a little star-shaped spice. And they have a wonderful anisey, licorice type flavor and smell. So we're going to throw in 2 or 3 of those. Give it a little maybe kind of Southeast Asian twist in a way. And some salt. We'll go with some salt. You know, we could probably get in there a good, good teaspoon of salt, I'd say. So we'll put that in there. Alrighty-o. So I think we've got all our spices in there. Now I'm going to add 2 cups of water. Because we need some volume, because this is going to go in a bowl. And you want it to cover that meat as much as possible. So there's a 1 cup. We'll put in another cup. Alright. Now, I'm going to bring this to a boil over the heat and wait till it cools down, and then we'll proceed to the next step. Okay, folks, so we'll see you in a little bit. Let this boil for 2 or 3 minutes, and then let it cool, and I'll be back at you. Okay, folks, back at you. The marinade is now cooled. While it was cooling, I was trying one of the featured ingredients, and of course that's the Aachener Krauter Printed. And this is a German cookie. It's a spice cookie with some cinnamon and clove flavors, nutmeg, and an almond on top. So these are going to, as I said before, go into the sauce. So that won't be used for a while until after we're ready to cook it. But I did want to just show you our featured tobacco up close. And this is the Robert McConnell Red Virginia. And you can see what we have here is a nice ready rubbed Red Virginia cake. It's nice and brownish, lightish color. Has a nice fruity type of aroma to it. Should be good. I've had it before, and it is very spicy. That's one thing I have to say, and I remember it being very spicy. So I think it's going to be the perfect thing to enjoy with the Sauerbraten during the preparation of the Sauerbraten. So let's move over here. As I say, the marinade has cooled. So there it is. It's all nice and cool. And you want to cool this because you don't want to cook the meat now. You want to marinate the meat now. And if I didn't mention it before, this is beef. Alright, this is a 4-pound piece of chuck. It's a nice size piece of meat there. It looks very nice. So that's going to go into a bowl. And I've cut up 1 onion. I've thinly sliced it. So we're going to put our onion on the top there. Okay. Kind of spread that onion around. And then on the top will go the marinade. So there's our marinade that we made. So we're going to put that over the whole top of it. Alright. And you want all the spices to go in there too. Everything goes in there. And this is going to sit and marinate for 4 days. Now what I will do is every day I will turn this. So that the top will go down and that will get into the marinade. Because you want this meat to get nice and tender, which is what's going to happen from that vinegar and that wine. It's going to integrate in there and really tenderize the meat and make a great gravy. All of this is going to go into the gravy. Okay, so what I'll do now is I will just cover it up with some plastic wrap. Alright, and then put this in the refrigerator. Or it's actually cold enough here to put this out in my garage because our garage is not heated and it stays pretty cold out there, so this could go into the garage. So I think that's what I'll do. I'll head out to the garage, folks. So I will see you in 4 days and we'll finish up the Sauerbraten. Have a great week. See you in a bit. Okay, friends, 4 days has elapsed. So we're going to take another look at the beef here. That's been marinating. And I've turned this, as I said, every day over the past 4 days. So as you can see, the beef now has absorbed some of the flavors and has softened up some. So now what we need to do is to brown it. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking off any of the spices and the onions, and I'm going to dry the meat off with some paper towels here. And I'll get prepared to brown the meat. So I'll turn the fire up on that Dutch oven there. We want the meat to be nice and dry because we want to get it nice and brown and caramelized on the outside, so we get some nice flavor into that gravy. So that's looking pretty good. What I will do is I'll add a little salt and pepper to the exterior of it. And I'll use a little grapeseed oil here, which is very good to brown in because it's got a high heat point to it. Make sure that's not too hot for my hands there. We'll get that oil around the bottom of the pan. Let that get a little warmer. And then we're going to go ahead and brown the beef. So follow me over to the stove. I'll take that side that I salted there and get that into the pan. There we go. In the pan. We'll stop browning that side and then we'll turn it over and get to the other side. Okay, folks, our beef is browning over at the stove, so I thought I'd just take a moment and share with you something. This is a cookbook that I recently got. It's called Culinaria Germany. It's the cuisine, country, and culture of Germany. And these books come in various countries, Italy and France and all. But I did find a recipe for Sauerbraten in here. And it was under the section of Nordrhein-Westfalen. I'm sorry, Nordrhein-Westfalen. And if we look, we see some of the photographs here of that region in Germany. And I did notice over here that it says that the Ruhr Stausee in the Eifel region, close to the ancient city of Aachen. That's what we're looking at in this photograph here. And Aachen happens to be the city that's famous for our featured ingredient, the Aachener Krauteprinten. I thought that was very interesting, so I looked up Aachen, and this is a medieval city, a city with lots of history that dates way back to beyond, before medieval times and all. And this is where Charlemagne had his preferred residence, and where his remains now lie in the cathedral there. So it's a city with quite a bit of history to it. It's the westernmost city in Germany. So these books are very nice from the standpoint of getting some history as well. But we see here we have the recipe for the Sauerbraten. And what I usually do is a picture of what we're making, the Sauerbraten. But what I generally do when I read these cookbooks is I kind of read them almost like a history book. I don't follow the recipe verbatim. I just kind of read it and kind of understand what's going on, what's going together in there, and then I just create my own recipe. So I thought that'd be interesting for you to hear. Now I think it's time for me to turn over this Sauerbraten. It's been browning on that side, so I'm going to get in there and flip this guy. Get him up there. Oh yeah, look at that. So he's browning nicely. So I think we'll go ahead and continue to brown it, and we'll come back and follow it up with the next step. So see you in a moment. All right, folks, our beef is nicely browned at this point. So what I'm going to do now is add all the ingredients from the marinade into it. So we'll get all of that in there, all those onions and all those spices. And that's going to go in the pot along with some carrots. I peeled a few carrots here, so we're going to get those guys in there too. Put those in there, and if we can fit them all in, I hope. Yeah, I think we can. And the recipe in that book called for some stewed apple. But instead of the stewed apple, I'm going to use some apple cider. So I'm going to add a little apple cider to this as well, just to add a little extra sweetness and flavor. And we'll cover the Dutch oven, and we'll put it in the oven, which I've set to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Not sure what that is in Celsius, but the Dutch oven will go in here, and this will stay in here for about 2 hours, and then we'll come back at you. I'll test it. I'll see how tender it is at that point, but I'm figuring maybe 2 hours. Okay, folks, so we'll see you in a bit. Now I have a little time, of course. That meat will be in the oven for 2 hours, so I'm going to load up the Peterson Meerschaum now with the featured tobacco, the McConnell Red Virginia, and go sit out in the, I'm not sure about the back, but maybe the front. It's not too windy out there, and smoke the pipe a little bit. So we'll see you in a couple of hours. Well, cheers, folks. The dinner is almost ready. I just need to prepare the gravy, and then we'll be ready to eat. So while we were waiting, I made a couple of cocktails for my wife and I. I have a nice martini for myself and a Manhattan for her. So we'll be eating soon. Prost! Yes, I think our meat is done now. So what I'll do is I'll show you what we're going to do to prepare the gravy. All right, folks? See you in a second. Okay, folks, so I've taken the meat out and put it on a board. And now what I'm going to do is add our featured ingredient. So this is the Krauterprinten, the Aachener Krauterprinten, which I ground up about a cup's worth of those gingerbread cookies. So now they're going to go in to this sauce. So I'm going to put that in there and cook these cookies into the sauce a little bit to thicken it up and to add that flavor. So what I'm going to do is just let this cook in here for a little bit and reduce a bit, and then I'll strain it, and we'll be serving our Sauerbraten. Thanks for staying with me. It's been a long video, sorry for that, but couldn't avoid it any other way. See ya. Okay, folks, we're ready to plate up our Sauerbraten. So what I'll do is I made some egg noodles. So we're going to have some egg noodles there. I also made some Brussels sprouts. Fresh Brussels sprouts, so we're going to put a few of Brussels sprouts on a plate. Alright, and then of course we have to have our traditional items. Well, we have the carrot, of course, that we made that beautiful carrot. We're going to put that carrot on there. But we do have the traditional accompaniments, which would be our red cabbage, right? Cannot have sauerbraten without red cabbage. So a little red cabbage on there. And here's our sauerbraten. So I carved up a little bit of it. So I'm going to put some sauerbraten on a plate. And it looks very nice. Nice and tender. Incredibly tender. It was kind of falling apart, it was so tender. And of course, the pièce de résistance. This is our gravy using our counter printed. And that came out beautiful. So we're going to put the gravy over the top of that sauerbraten. And it's all about the gravy, of course, so we wanted to have plenty of nice gravy on that dish. I think that looks pretty nice, right? So what do you say, folks? Sauerbraten! Cheers, everybody! Have a great week. We'll see you soon. Grandpa Cavendish, signing off. Okay, folks, we're sitting down for our dinner, but there's one thing I neglected to mention, and that's, of course, we cannot serve a sauerbraten dinner without a German beer. So, we're going to have some Beck's. Beck's from Bremen. So let me pour my wife some Beck's beer here. And myself. And there we go. How's that? Sauerbraten dinner with Beck's beer. Prost again. We'll see you guys.